My name is Marcia-Elizabeth Thompson. I am a licensed doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine and nationally certified herbalist. Still running a private practice in Westchester County, New York. And after 4 weeks, I will be practicing in Mexico. And it is largely due to the influence of Chen and the 6- and 7-figure practice makeover mentorship that's helped me set the stage to transform my work. So thank you so much, Chen. I've been in practice since 2010. I went to PCOM, Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, at the New York campus.
Tell us a little bit about your practice, your acupuncture practice, because you were pretty busy, right?
I was pretty busy for quite a good length of time, actually. I had a practice that was generating upwards of $235K for 2 years in a row. And there are so many backhanded blessings. One of the not backhanded blessings was a reduction in my revenue. So I'm now actually, that is the backhanded blessing part. I practice with a much lighter caseload, but I'm actually working in exactly the way I want to. I've wanted to slow down for the longest time, and I'm able to do much deeper, much more quality work that is allowing me to be of service to my patients in exactly the way I've been yearning to as a family trauma professional, because everyone who's coming to me now, regardless of what their chief complaint is, carrying with them a boatload of complex PTSD or an immediate PTSD trauma trigger. And that's what we're always working on in my practice now. So I need more time to work slowly with people. So I've gone from seeing upwards of 30, 35, 40 people a week between my two practices on Manhattan and on Manhattan's Fifth Avenue and in Westchester, to now seeing about 20 people a week in one quiet office in Westchester County.
What was the most frustrating thing for you before the 6-figure Speaking Makeover mentorship for Introverts?
Knowing that I had something of value to say and to offer people, and couldn't quite figure out how to do it because, we all think in our own particular way. That's what makes our work and what makes us unique as individuals. The thing that made me unique also made me difficult for people to really kind of understand and get. I tend to speak in language that's pretty seventh chakra, very deeply spiritual. And also, like, I talk to people about Hinduism and Taoism and these lofty philosophical concepts of Eastern medicine and how that relates to their physiology through the prism of quantum physics. And usually people just kind of glaze over. And that was one of the things that really came out of the mentorship, was getting the message constantly to simplify, 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 and clarify. Because I pull from two seemingly disconnected sources, and I think it's hard for people to get it. What was challenging was hard for me. It was hard for me to explain it in a way that people really understood. And just the continual repetition of the process and reworking the message in the mentorship helped me to really crystallize the message. And it also required me to talk to other people outside of my own mind, not just the people in the mentorship, but my patients. The gift of the program is it got me over my own humps and it got me through my own blocks. So I now have a package to present that I feel good and confident and clear about.
How did you feel as you were deciding to take this leap to be a part of the mentorship? Any hesitation?
Oh, totally. Yeah. But there was more hope. And there was more of, frankly, there was more of a desperation. Like, I really needed to do this because I'm changing countries. I'm changing economies. I'm completely changing my business structure. And I had been trying to figure this out and get this going for the better part of the last year and a half. Once I made the decision to move, this was the one part that I couldn't figure out. And I knew I needed help. And when you came across my desk again, because I've been following you online for years, this is the person I think who can help me. The hesitation, frankly, the only hesitation was in the financial investment, because I was in a place where I was about to wind down my practice and I was watching my numbers and managing my money in preparation to move into this economy where I wouldn't be generating any new dollars immediately. It's like, I'm going to take this thousands of dollars and invest it in this thing. Dear universe, please let this work. Once the faith piece came into play, it was, it was kind of a foregone conclusion because it needed to happen. So the hesitation was really minor in comparison to the need and to the hope and the desire.
What's changed for you that you're excited about?
Oh, I have clarity. I have clarity, and I'm not doing this by myself anymore. That's really the critical piece. And I have to give a huge, huge kudos to your team, to you and Ryan, and whoever else is working behind the scenes. There are so many moving parts behind the scenes. I have no idea how you all put it together. It's remarkable. We practice in isolation, and that's just not my story anymore.
What else has changed about that you're excited about?
Oh gosh, possibility, I think that's the first thing that's come to mind in response to your question. Possibility turning into probability. Because I had possibility of doing things when I had all of these ideas, but there was no probability because I could not translate the ideas into something marketable and actionable. So now I've gone from having the possibility of, or that was a loud vehicle. I've gone from having the possibility of manifesting these ideas into something good and useful to the people I serve to now having the actual probability of making it happen because there's been a plan. There's a plan. I have a plan. I have a structure, and I'm not doing it by myself. I feel so much better as a human being. I'm not afraid anymore of moving into a new economy and not being certain of myself. That was really the biggest thing that was hampering me. I was starting to doubt myself and my ability to actualize this vision I had, when what really needed to happen was that I just needed help. I needed someone who has gone down the road before me, who can say, this is how it's done, and then just follow the instructions. And that was the 6 and 7 figure practice mentorship program. I needed help. And now that I got the help and I have the clarity, I can start to chart my own course better now.
What vision do you have for yourself as you move to Mexico?
Interestingly enough, and this was not by design, this was not my intention when I first started the program, but the vision I have is creating work for other practitioners, acupuncturists, chiros, natural medicine practitioners, healing professionals, and also the lay population on how to work with addiction and trauma recovery, especially if as a practitioner, you've not had any kind of clinical training or academic training in trauma treatment, and you don't want to go back to school. That was the other thing for me. At this stage of my life with my practice, I considered getting an LCSW to become a talk therapist while I was in acupuncture school, because it seemed like an essential piece of the puzzle. But at this stage, I'm not going to go back to school again for another 4-year degree with 2 years of clinical training and another $150,000 worth of tuition. I already have tuition for which I'm in debt for my acupuncture degree. So I'm looking to bring to bear what I have learned and the training that I have taken on over the last 2 years to practitioners who also want to enhance their skill set and be of good, useful, meaningful service to their patient base.
What got you into wanting to work with people with trauma? And
working with my own, 1. 2, working with my own through the prisms of Taoism, Hinduism, Chinese medicine, Eastern philosophy, and realizing that these ancient texts that we have are actually instructions for how to live. And what we call trauma today, here and now, is actually universal to all of us. There are some of us for whom the trauma imprint is much deeper and much more deleterious and hampering and life-altering. Some of us have difficulty just getting out of bed in the morning. Some of us can hold 7-figure jobs and still have these issues keeping us from living our best life. But it's a universal concept. It's what the ancients call karma. And the way we work with our karma or our trauma becomes our most authentic life. That's the pathway to liberation. That's the pathway to freedom. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
It was my someday goal. Like, someday I want to be able to do this. Someday I'd like to be able to do this. But right now I really need to make some money, so I need to serve the general public because that's the population that's in need. And that's the population with which I'm already working. I work with the general public. People come and see me for acupuncture treatment. In my previous incarnation, I was a teacher of Pilates teachers. I was a rehab-based Pilates instructor. I've written curricula for different Pilates studios. I like talking to the teachers. Those are the people with whom I really connect. And it took me a while. It took me going through the mentorship, actually. That was some of the lack of clarity I was facing, because I was trying to send myself in a direction that I wasn't really naturally inclined to go. And that's where a lot of the vagueness in my messaging came through. But in going through the program and just sitting and talking to other practitioners, I finally had to admit to myself, these are the people I really want to talk to. I want to talk to the healers. I want to talk to the people who are 1,000,000% invested in helping others and serving others in their awakening and their own healing. That's where I can be of best service, because that's what my track record has already shown me. So yeah.
Yes, the ripple effect that can have other practitioners and then helping more and more people too. Also, you've had success helping patients with this and a successful practice. So those are things that other practitioners will be able to benefit from through you. As far as your practicing patients, were you an insurance-based practice, a cash-based practice? Tell us a bit about that.
It's a mix. I've always accepted insurance. I'm an out-of-network practitioner. But now, as much as I'm willing to accept insurance, I'm finding that insurance companies, as kind of the rumor on the street was, insurance companies are making it more difficult to get paid. They're making the paperwork wall much higher to get over, much thicker to get through. And I'm finding, thankfully, I work in a community where discretionary income is such that patients don't have a problem paying my cash fee. But now I have no choice. I'm more and more of a cash practitioner than not, which is a huge relief to me, because that's less admin work for me on the back end of things.
How much do you charge for your visits and everything in the practice?
An initial consultation is $350. The initial consultation is 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes. The follow-up visit 1 hour is $165. I do have 90-minute follow-up appointments. Those are $250.
You're taking your practice to a different direction, right? That's a whole new direction than just seeing patients in person, because you're going to be doing this virtually, aren't you?
I am, and I didn't realize how different a model it is. Like, I knew it's obviously a different model, but it really is a completely different universe, completely different.
How is this mentorship different from other business trainings you've had in the past?
It's the personal element, I think. Not that, because I've done other business trainings where we work in small groups and we work in a whole group. Having the done for you templates is very different. That's really, really helpful. It's a lot. For anyone who's watching this right now, you're going to get a lot, and it's great. Because once the mentorship is over, you have a complete set you can take with you and use. So that was different. Getting feedback every week, getting feedback from you every week. You're such a great coach. You're really, really good. And when you say you're going to get laser coaching, it's laser, because you're able to, with your years of experience, just go right to the heart of the issue. When I've had one-on-one opportunities with you, I'm so thankful, because it's like really clear in the moment, bang, 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 super, 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 super clear. That was one of my favorite parts.
What are you really looking forward to as you now are moving?
Peace of mind, space. I'm looking forward to stepping into this vision that I've had for like 10 years. I wanted to do this 10 years ago, move to Mexico, but I've been actually planning it for the last year plus now. And I'm looking forward to sitting in my home 5 blocks from the beach and actually doing the work for which I have laid the foundation through the 6- and 7-figure mentorship program.
Yes, isn't it just a different feeling when it's like, okay, I have confidence in this is how this is going to go, and have a path for it happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, before, like I said, possibility turning into probability. There's confidence that has taken root now, and it's starting to grow. I really do feel like a totally different person now as a result. I needed this help and I needed this level of help. And I'm really thankful it's here.
What would you say this experience was like for you as an introvert, this mentorship?
Insight cultivating. It cultivated a lot of insight for me. It was also really inspiring to see other people in the program.
If you knew then what you know now, what advice would you give?
Stay in the process. Just stay in the process and trust the process. That was something that got galvanized for me during the process, because it showed up in other areas of my life as well. Trust the process. It came in my telling myself, 80% of success is just showing up. So just keep showing up and have faith. But I would have liked to, at the beginning, I would have liked to have had more confidence in myself and in the process itself. But that's something that only could have come from going through the process and having the experience of it. But ultimately, the big theme in my life right now, especially as I move to another country where there are so many moving parts and uncertain details, I think having had the kind of trial by fire of going through the 6 and 7 figure practice mentorship program gave me the experience of myself to now say, yeah, just trust the process. Like, no more doubt anymore. I put doubt off to the side.
What made you even decide you wanted to be a part of the 6-figure Speaking Makeover mentorship?
I've been following you online for years. I remember when I first started practicing, that's when I first started seeing you over 10 years ago. And there was also the timeline now. So for me, I was doing fine before running a private practice, and that's what I wanted to do. And yes, it would be nice to have some business growth. And yes, I would like to pivot online eventually. But then everything changed. The whole world changed and my whole professional and financial landscape changed. So I then had a timeline, and I had the onus of transforming myself and my work within a shorter period of time. That's the thing, actually, another answer to your question. If I knew now what I knew at the beginning of this program, I would have done it a year ago, because I really thought I could do it on my own, but I couldn't. And when I realized that time was becoming seriously of the essence, I took the leap of faith and I did it.
What would you say to someone who may be on the fence?
Just do it. Just do it. As long as you're clear about your numbers and your money, and you know that you can afford to make this investment in a solvent way that's financially responsible to you and your business, there's no reason not to do it, period.
What would you say to someone who might be concerned that this involves it's a small group mentorship and not just all one-on-one kind of thing?
We don't need just one-on-one. That's the benefit of a mastermind. I was either saying, I may have been saying this to you recently, or I was saying this to someone else, quoting a Bible verse, quoting Jesus in the Bible, I think, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. That's the essence of a mastermind. When there are more than 2 consciousnesses in the space, you potentiate one another's possibility. That's how possibility becomes probability. The ideas that I got from the other members in my group, just watching you work with other people, watching other people in their process, and then having my own experience of myself magnified the benefits of the program. We all come together we bring our own possibility to the equation. And it's the meeting of the minds, the witnessing other people in their process, the getting ideas from multiple people. That's the benefit of working in a group. I'm making an investment to do Ken's program, and I'm also getting to work with all of these other really fabulous practitioners. It was so nice. Oh my gosh, it was such a relief to sit and have conversations with other really brilliant practitioners, which was great for my relationship with myself as a practitioner, because I've been practicing in isolation for over 10 years. And I didn't realize how much self-doubt was still a part of my equation and what I was bringing into the treatment room, because I didn't have anybody to bounce anything off. And while I almost never spoke about actual patient treatment or case management with the other acupuncturists, just being able to be in conversation with another acupuncturist specifically, but with other chiropractors, because we all face similar challenges. And to see, oh yeah, we're all facing these similar challenges, and everybody in this group is a really bang up practitioner. Like, I can tell just from talking to people, you're really good at what you do. I was like, wait, I even said this in a small group one day. I was like, oh, wait, that means I'm really good at what I do too, because I'm having it reflected back at me. And I've just been, shoulder to the wheel and doing my best every day to be of highest service without that feedback that nourishes me, to let me know, oh yeah, I am actually really good at what I do. So yeah, of course I deserve to make more money and have a much easier, more satisfying experience with my work.
Yes, and isn't it different from just going to conferences and then being with other practitioners or asking other practitioners, hey, what do you think about this? Like, it's different, isn't it?
Totally different, because the investment, we all start on the same footing. When we come into the group, we're all coming there for essentially the same reasons. When I attend conferences, maybe you find one or two people who are like willing to break the anonymity wall and connect with you, and maybe somebody's willing to exchange information, but there's always that distance. There are outgoing people at conferences, and yeah, we're all practitioners and we're there to get information, but there's still that isolation of like, I'm here for me, I'm doing this for me. And with a mentorship program, with a group program, it's like, no, we're all here together for this thing. It completely changes. It levels the playing field, completely changes the conversation.
Awesome. What are some final words that you would like to say, or words of wisdom that you'd like to pass along?
Oh my goodness. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. That's the first thing that's come to mind. And if you are willing to show up for yourself and take one step in the direction of your vision, the universe invariably, always will take at least 10,000 steps in your direction. The universe will always exceed your expectation. Allow the universe to surprise you, because she, he, them, they, it is way bigger than your imagination. And the universe is just dying pregnant to just gift you with so much goodness. One step, one decision is all.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. And you are such an inspiration, and it's exciting to see how things have unfolded for you. And congratulations. Look forward to continuing to hear about your successes. And for those of you who are in a place where you're in a plateau in your practice, or you just feel like you're capable of so much more, whether it's in helping more people or being able to have your practice be making the money that you would really like to be making, so that you're also well taken care of, and all the while making a bigger impact, then feel free to go to introvertedvisionary.com. Click on the link there to book in a free chat with us, and happy to give you insight into your biggest frustrations in your practice and how we can help you grow your practice faster, because struggling is optional. So with that, thank you for joining us today.